What's up, everybody? I'm Jill, and I'm bringing you guys part 4 of What If I Was in Dragon Ball, or the next part. Either way works, so yeah. Now, as I explained in my previous part, my future self was able to get me the information when I actually experienced out the future, and eventually was able to warn me. Eventually, I trained with everyone and was able to achieve Super Saiyan 3. Now, the 7 years time skip has now begun, with me training, of course, so I can be prepared for Boo in the powerful threat that may come. I also decided to train my little brother, Goten. By the time I train, of course, I'll continue to train with my father, Goku, and eventually we still have Goten, and he will actually have a little bit much more S cells than the original. With me, of course, still being stronger than Goku and with my potential. Of course, both Goku and Vegeta will be very strong, but I also would have time fusion just in case if they need a power boost, and both of them will be grateful for that. Of course, me and my Super Saiyan 3 is much stronger than both Goku and Vegeta in their own variation of Super Saiyan 3. I have already mastered my Super Saiyan 3 while Goku and Vegeta are on the grass on achieving that level. Eventually, of course, I'll continue to train and increase my power. Eventually, my power will actually get the attentions of the Kaioshins, and eventually they'll actually approach me and ask me for defeat Boo. Of course, I will decide to oblige, and so then I actually would like to join. Of course, I want to train under them so I can get the ultimate form and get even stronger, since I know the ultimate form will probably lead me to unlocking the beast form, which is an incredibly strong form. But I also want to achieve Super Saiyan 4 to maybe combine the two transformations together, since I've seen in many ways that is possible, and I know that maybe if I train hard enough, maybe I'll do the same. Eventually, I started training with Shin and Kibito. Of course, Kibito still has my doubts about me, but seeing my power at first hand, he's impressed by me, even my father and Vegeta as well. Of course, I still continue to train and increase my power level as I continue to train with the Z-Sword. I'm able to easily lift the Z-Sword in base without even struggling. Of course, this is because of my constant training as well. Of course, Piccolo also would have joined our training as well as we continue to train. Eventually, the Z-Sword would still been broken like in the original, but eventually I'll get my potential unlocked by the old Kai. I also want to ask the old Kai if he can unlock Piccolo's potential as well, as both me and Piccolo will get our ultimate forms, but Piccolo will most likely get his awakened form while I'll get my mystic form. With, of course, Mystic, I'll be even stronger than ever before. With the Mystic form surpassing my Super Saiyan 3 and growing even stronger, but I could feel that I'm actually stronger than my Super Saiyan 3 by a large margin. Could it be because I actually kept my tail? I'm actually able to achieve Super Saiyan 4. I had to try out, and eventually I'm able to actually turn Super Saiyan 4. Of course, I'm actually easily able to control the form, unlike Super Saiyan 3, which is incredibly good. But I still use the ultimate form as a much more regular form. But I'm actually able to combine the Mystic form, but I actually just use it as a new transformation and a form that I'll pursue in the near future. Of course, I do tell Goku and Vegeta that I will pursue this form alongside Super Saiyan 4, and both of them actually oblige the idea, simply as seen as my own path of power. Of course, I'll still decide to actually do the Super Saiyan God ritual maybe in the future, but I know with my current power, maybe I'll be able to take on Beerus, but I still am not sure, so I decided to continue training. Eventually, when the time comes for Boo to arrive, I'll continue to train and increase my power. I also will be able to learn the Kai's techniques, like much more bear healing abilities, and the Kai, which is a much better variation of the instant transmission, which is a pretty good technique to have in hand. I'm also able to practically learn some of the techniques of the old Kai, which will be pretty useful for me to know. Of course, I do still want to go back to my past life, but knowing that my past is practically good, I decided to just live on with my new life. I'm practically a new person and I have a family that loves me. I also have a little brother as well, like I have in my past life. Of course, I do train Goten and Trunks as well, being their teacher and mentor as well. Of course, I'll also create a book of how to control Ki and teach yourself Ki control. Of course, I was decided to maybe in the future, maybe I'll sell this book, but of course, I still would have met with Videl by the time of my training. I'll still go to school and eventually would have met Videl. Of course, Videl will still be intrigued by me, as I'll constantly act shy a little bit. I'm not experienced with girls, so I'll most likely act as shy as Gohan, but I'll be much more confident in battle than Gohan himself, so yeah. And of course, eventually, me and Videl will start dating soon after the 7 years time skip. I will start to also teach her some Ki control basics, also using the time chamber to probably teach her how to control Ki and utilize it a lot better. Of course, with her amazing attitude, she most likely would have learned the basics of Ki control alongside using my book for Ki control itself, so she can learn a lot more. I was able to actually create Ki blades and a lot more as I'll continue to experiment with my Ki and eventually create much more new stuff to learn. Of course, that will also be in trade as she will also add some other things. Eventually, we'll get even stronger. I will decide to also add maybe the fusion dance, but I decided to just keep it a secret since it will most likely not be a good thing to have it, because it will most likely bring a lot of trouble in a future as well. So yeah, eventually I do continue my training and increase my power. Of course, when Sport Vegeta do try to actually steal my energy, I'll actually allow them, but I'll only be in Super Saiyan, and that'll be just enough because I know even if I power up to my full stage, I'll most likely recharge Boo too much. So I decided to suppress myself while being a Super Saiyan. It is actually able to give him at least 50% energy, like in the original. With me using Kai Kai to support their location, I'm most likely able to pick them up easily. And eventually, we both were able to arrive when Boo is, and eventually, we were able to practically arrive. But because of our energy being a little too strong, Boo been revived a lot early on. With me slightly sweating because I know that Boo is incredibly powerful, but I think with my current power, I can overpower Boo. But Boo actually caught me off guard as Bowly demands Boo to absorb one of the fighters. I'm able to dodge the attack, but Vegeta, Piccolo, or 2 saw as they get absorbed by Boo. Eventually, Boo became Super Boo or Boo Vegeta. With this, of course, I'll be practically shocked as Boo Vegeta punches me, sending me flying. I'll power up to Super Saiyan 3 as I tell my follower to run away and warn the others to not interfere in the battle. Goku, of course, nods as he uses his transmission to support the others, making sure that they're okay and they're on the lookout. I continue to battle Vegeta as I continue to increase my power. Eventually going to my ultimate form as I'm easily able to overpower this type of Boo. I also use Spirit Vision to try and take out Vegeta, but I'm a little bit not fast enough since this Boo is already distracting me and I cannot focus enough. Goku teaches the Gota and Trunks of how to fuse, and they fuse into Gotenks. Gotenks decides to aid me in the battle, and eventually I'm able to use Spirit Vision to split Vegeta and Piccolo off, but Goten gets absorbed in the process. I'll get angry as I tell Boo he's gonna pay for that. I power up a lot more as I continue to battle with Boo. Of course, Boo is pushed back by the power as I tell Boo that it's time for me to end this. But Boo, of course, is able to take me off guard as I get absorbed by him. But I'm able to suppress my power just enough so Boo can absorb all my power. I then throw the Patar earrings to Goku and Vegeta and tell them to fuse into Vegeta and to overpower Boo as quick as they can and not waste any energy or time. As I get absorbed fully by Boo, I'll be in Boo's cocoon, but unlike the original, I'm actually able to gain my consciousness due to my strength being a lot more because I was suppressing my strength when Boo absorbed me. So almost like I was easily able to break out. I also would have saw Fat Boo and then I'll rip his egg off. This will be between the battle between Gohan and Vegeta. Vegeta is a lot more stronger than Kennen because of his training with me. So most likely Vegeta will be a lot more experienced and in power as well. Of course, Vegeta wouldn't actually take this battle seriously since he knows that I'm inside. So he'll power up to Super Saiyan 2 right off the bat without sparing any time. Easily able to overpower Gohan, and eventually when I rip off Fat Boo's containment, I'm able to free him alongside Gotenks as I'll easily able to escape. With of course Super Boo running back to normal. But eventually he reverts to Kid Boo. Kid Boo tries to restore a plan, but I'm able to use Kai Kai to teleport into Kai's world. Just in the nick of time before Goku and Vegeta defuse because of the Patara being unlimited of time. I'll then decide to battle Kid Boo by myself, knowing that I am strong enough to overpower Kid Boo. But I can say that Kid Boo is incredibly stronger, even stronger than he was when he fought against Goku in Super Saiyan 3 like in the original. Eventually our battle will be incredibly close, but because of my mystic form constantly unlocking and increasing my potential, I'll be able to actually overpower Boo and eventually defeat him. Of course I'll decide to still do the Spirit Bomb technique like my father did, with me performing the technique and eventually firing it at Kid Boo. Of course I'm able to use my power and eventually I actually would have talked to King Yama using telepathy. I attempt to reincarnate Boo as a good person. This will most likely be much more easier instead of sending him to hell since he will most likely cause a lot of damage inside. Well, of course, King Yama decided to agree as eventually Kid Boo is obliterated by the Spirit Bomb and eventually King Yama sends him to become Oob. Of course, I'm pretty happy since everything turned out really well, but I know that Beerus will come soon and he wants a Super Saiyan God, and I know myself that I'll most likely be his biggest challenger yet. So I decided to train myself alongside every other Saiyan, including Goten and Trunks, so we can increase our powers a lot higher. I also would have married Videl by the time, and eventually I'll most likely would have married Videl. Of course, I'll be kind of nervous of me, Mr. Satan, since I know that he's kind of a fraud. I don't like him as much, but I'm trying to be a good son-in-law to him, since I don't want any trouble. I do love Videl a lot. She's an incredibly kind girl, and I do love her. Even though I'm in Goku's body, I still have his feelings for Videl. And I cannot change them, even if I wanted to, but I actually don't want to. I actually feel those genuine feelings for her, just like she does for me. I've grown a lot with her, so that's why I would have actually became my girlfriend, and eventually we will get married afterwards. Before, of course, Beerus wakes up with a couple of years later. But guys, this is the end of this part. See you guys in the next one. Sign out, my Z fans.